Hey, Chris Liepe here. I want to talk in this video about the top 3 mistakes I see most beginner singers make. And while I use the word beginner, I really mean most singers, even if they don't consider themselves beginners. Maybe people who are singing on a regular basis, singing out, they still make these mistakes. And there are many of them, but there are 3 that are really glaring. And these 3 flubs create a downward spiral of fear, intimidation, pain, injury, all these things that keep singers from truly singing out the way they want to. It's not pretty or fun at all. So if you can identify these 3 things, these 3 mistakes that a lot of singers, particularly beginners, make in your own voice, in your own singing patterns, you're going to go a long way to singing more successfully and more freely. Starting with number 3, singers often try to get their power, their aggression, their dynamics from the wrong place. How many times have you either seen or felt this sort of thing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 1. I'm not mocking anybody, but I am showing what certainly I did for many years, and certainly what I see a lot of people doing. As they try to get higher and louder, they are not focusing their energy in the right place. It becomes this battle of the neck where they think that by lifting like this when they go higher, or doing this when they go lower, that the energy behind that is helping them, when it's actually doing just the opposite. So, okay, people do this wrong when they're going higher or lower, but they also do this when they're even just trying to get louder at a certain pitch. Like, let's say you're singing in the car and ooh, you can sing at kind of a soft volume that note, but then they try to get into it. Ooh, 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 ooh. Same thing happens. Jaw tightens, neck tightens, and they might get a little louder, but it sounds bad, kind of strained. It doesn't sound powerful. It doesn't sound free. So what do you do about it? Take your energy off from here and above and focus it from here down. And I really mean down. Poop muscles. If you can focus your energy when you start getting louder and higher towards the ground, the same muscles that you use to push out gas or to have a bowel movement, you're going to be amazed at the amount of power that unconsciously comes up. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 7, 6, 5. Whoa! Notice, I probably clipped. Notice that I got so loud, so aggressive, and I didn't move at all like this. Let's go down the other way. 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1. Not 1, 1, 1, 1. And it's a mental exercise. That's really all it is. As I reach a point to where I feel like I need more energy, I bear down. I bear down on my lower abdominal muscles, that same sensation that happens when I'm pushing something out the other end. That is what helps me get the power that comes up this way. By bearing down, power comes up. Mistake number 2. Singers are often not familiar with their comfortable range. What can you hit comfortably without straining? Of course, that'll change if you solve problem number 3. But what are your notes? What are your most comfortable notes? What are your sweet spot notes? You should know those so that when you're singing a song and you know what key it's in and you know the intervals that are happening in the song, you can sing in a way and in a register and in a tone that fits your voice as well as the song. My recommendation, this is what I've used for years, is to identify, say you've got a song in the key of G. Identify the root and the fifth. Can you sing the root and the fifth, and is the fifth a powerful, comfortable feeling note? Let's say you're singing the key of G. That fifth is D. Yeah. Oh. What about E? Yeah. 1 5 1 5 1 5. If you can go around to different keys and identify what your voice feels like with the 1 and the 5, you're going to get a better understanding of how your voice is going to react to any song and over your comfortable range. That's the best way to get familiar with how your voice works in different settings. And the number one mistake that I see and hear people making is, and they'll admit it to me, that they are trying to sound like someone else. They really like the style of vocal person X over here, a famous singer that they like, a band that they like. They're trying to sound like that person. Now, you say, wait a minute. Didn't you do a video on how to sing like Chris Cornell, like another singer? Yes. Let me clarify, because I enjoy pulling attributes from other vocalists and injecting them into my voice. That's very different than trying to sing like someone else in the following way. If you haven't discovered how to use your voice properly, if you haven't discovered how it feels to sing with the right support system, to explore what your voice does naturally and the sounds and tones that you can get out of your own voice, if you haven't taken the time to thoroughly go through the process of introspection to really get that, and you start with, oh, I really like to sound like Alison Krauss, or I really like the sound of Steven Tyler. I want to sound just like that. If you go there first, see, that's not how they did it. They did it by experimenting with their own voice and developing their own sound, by discovering their voice. You can't pull from other good qualities of other singers without first going through the intense process, the intensely introspective process of discovering your own voice. So really, the main mistake here is that people try to start sounding like someone else before they've done the homework and before they've gone through the experience of being themselves first. So you must be yourself first. When you get this backward and you use someone else as your role model without having that experience of discovering your voice first, you end up doing all sorts of weird things to try to imitate their sound, all sorts of things that lead to tension, injury, fatigue. One of the main things that people do they'll swallow vowels. They'll sing back here or put their resonance in the wrong place. A lot of singers in the 90s had that sort of natural sound anyway. And when people started trying to imitate that, they drastically limited their range and hurt themselves. So don't do that. The other thing that it can do is it can cause you to not only pronounce vowels incorrectly, but it can cause you to go for tones and sounds that you think they're doing one thing to get that sound, but they're actually doing another very different thing. Case in point, if you hear someone with a lot of breakup in their voice, You might be tempted, to engage that sort of clearing throat sort of sound. Yeah! Personally, I don't like that sound much, but that's a broken up sound. And that way of singing is actually very difficult on the vocal cords. It hurts almost. But to do the same thing with the correct support system, yeah, 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 yeah. Get a little bit, you get a cleaner sound, but you still get a little bit of breakup and a lot of aggression. That doesn't hurt at all. And you're still getting a powerful sound. So the mistake here again is that people tend to put the sound before the feel. And to solve the greatest mistake that beginners and a lot of singers make, which is trying to sound like someone else, to solve that, you have to put feel before sound. Get things so that everything feels right in the context of your whole range, in the context of your dynamics, and then let sound happen. Don't try to make sound happen. That's where you have to start. I love making videos like this. If you have any questions, please leave the questions below. Be sure to join my free singing course linked below if you want to take your singing to another level. And as you have questions, I'll do more videos for you, helping you free your voice as well.